Today we are focusing on eyeshadow placement for hooded eyes, and we'll also add some sparkle. If you know absolutely nothing about makeup, this video will help you, and you can stop at any stage of layering or just pick up a few makeup hacks. You don't need to use everything if you don't feel comfortable with it. I ate too many sweets, and now I have some blemishes and swollen lids. According to my chocolate advent calendar, Christmas is today. So let's begin. Let's talk about eye bags. We can control how much salty or sweet food we eat, but in makeup, the maximum we can do is massage. I use eye cream, and if I apply concealer, I use a small amount. 3 tiny dots under each eye, sweep it from side to side, and at the end, gently tap it into the skin. And it's perfect if your fingers are cold, and it helps with the circulation. Today, I'm going to do a massage. I learned from a model during early morning photoshoots many years ago. So you need to apply a little more eye cream, warm it up, again sweep it from side to side to spread it evenly, and then start pressing from underneath the eyes, and at the same time close the eyes with pressure. Move your fingers up through the lids to the brow bone, and don't stop there, go up to the forehead. I repeat this 10 times, sometimes even more, and then I also do circle movements around the eyes, holding the skin near the temples. It's very helpful. And if you feel like the eye cream is fully absorbed, add more. It should be slippery. Never do this on dry skin. It will damage the skin and cause wrinkles. Let's apply some face moisturizer while we do the eye makeup, and the skin will become softer. I love this serum. It's not an oil in the usual sense, and it's lightweight and non-sticky with the golden capsules. And to activate the formula, you need to break them and then press the product into the skin. After the first use, I noticed how smooth and glowing my skin became without thousands of skincare steps. Let's start. Eye makeup. We begin with the eyebrows. This brow gel wand has 2 sides, short and long bristles, for short hairs and for dense, thick hairs. We all have different distance from the low brow edge to the lash line. And I personally have a lot of space for blending eyeshadow here. And if you don't, only focus on the outer corners. That's it. I need to open up the eyes, so I brush the hairs upward and then at a 45-degree angle. And it will be better to remove all the tiny hairs from the lids. Sometimes eyeshadows stick to the invisible baby hairs and blending looks dirty. Now take an eyebrow marker. I'm going to fill in bare areas with the hair-like strokes. I love this one. It has the perfect olive undertone. Not too dark for me, not brown, not gray, and actually not orange. And it suits me best. Same on the other side. Light movements like touch-ups. Try to stop from over-applying the product so the brows just don't become heavy. And yes, focus on your brows in the mirror, but then always look at the whole face, not just a small mirror, okay? Next, take a lash curler. Curl the lashes to open up the eyes. I'll explain how it works, but honestly, I did a lash lift a few days ago and they are already curled. Still, this curling step is essential, and you can check my other videos. The result is insane, and straight lashes literally close your eyes halfway. I place my lashes into the curler and press 5 times, or press once and hold for a few seconds. As soon as they are curled, we must set the result. I apply mascara before eyeshadows, just because I always make a mess on the lids. Everyone with the hooded lids, tell me I'm not the only one like this in the comments. I'm going to apply Lancome Eyeshadow mascara with the curled wand. I love the application and how easily it washes off at the end of the day. And look at this close-up. One swipe and the roots just already look great. Let's add more. The lashes will act like a protective visor for glittery eyeshadows. The fallouts just won't drop under the eyes. Get as close as you can to the roots and use a wiggle motion. The mascara must stick at the roots. Now do the opposite motion. Don't brush only from underneath, but also from the top. This makes the tips thicker and denser, and the lashes instantly look fuller, almost like false lashes. Also, make sure you close your mascara tightly. This prevents it from drying out in the tube and stops clumping and uneven application. Now, take micellar water and a cotton pad. Remove the mascara smudges from the lids, but more importantly, we are preparing the eyelid for eyeshadow, so it doesn't crease and the skin doesn't eat the pigment. Just to prevent creasing, you must remove everything from the lid that can ruin the makeup. Skin oils, eye cream, foundation, just everything. I use Bioderma micellar water for sensitive skin and make sure the eyelid is completely dry. Next, apply an eye primer or concealer. I'll show you both of my top products and it must be self-setting, preferably matte. Apply a tiny amount just to smooth the surface. I use concealer mainly to cancel out the blue and purple veins, and I tap it with my pinky very gently. And you must warm up the product so it melts into the skin and doesn't emphasize texture. If you apply too much, everything will crease no matter what you do next, even with the dry shadows on top. On the other eye, I apply an eye primer. I warm it on the back of my hand and gently tap it onto the lid. It's lighter than concealer, so the eyeshadows will look more intense. And here's a hack. You can mix primer with a waterproof pencil and get cream eyeshadows. This boosts intensity even more. If you're afraid of bright, dry eyeshadows or struggle with blending, cream products are always easier for beginners. Now a bit of color theory. I mix the same shade with a white base and with a peach base. Burgundy becomes cool gray-brown on one side and warm on the other. And the difference is huge. You are the creator of your own final result. Just on me, warm tones enhance the green in my eyes, and cool tones make them look more gray-blue. It's up to you. Blend everything all the way up to the brow bone. Everywhere your shadow will go. Make sure there is no harsh line between your foundation and concealer, or the shadow will stick to that edge. This sticky base will hold glitter perfectly and prevent fallout. It literally glues everything in place. I take the easiest shadow for blending and application and apply them with my finger. Even if they crumble, don't worry, you can use a brush too, but the main rule is always press the shadow into the brush or finger first so it doesn't fall under the eyes. And look how well the shadows stick to the lid. The surface is set, the skin is no longer sticky. I apply it all over the mobile lid, the part that hides under the hooded fold, especially dry the area where shadows usually crease. I take a bit more on the finger and press in all the flakes. Look at this beautiful effect. And a soft smoky eye, it's smoky, it's a technique and a gradient from dark to light, a haze. It doesn't mean black eyeliner, and you can even create a smoky effect with a blush and mascara, that's it. Now, let's check if everything is blended correctly. Relax your brows, drop your forehead, like when you're talking to someone. Look straight into the mirror. Divide the distance from the brow tail to the lash line. We should cover at least 30% of that space, and we did, even without brushes, just with fingers. Leave air under the brow. Don't apply shadow or shimmer here, even the highlighter. It will make the area look heavier and more hooded. Now check if we accidentally pulled the eye downward. Find the wing of the nose and the last lower lash. That extension is your anatomical lifting line. My angle is like this, but yours may be different. I have extra shadow here and I lowered the eye while blending, so let's clean it with concealer. For very rounded eyes, I flatten the shape under the pupil with a nearly horizontal concealer line. I also brighten the inner corner with a concealer. Actually, these details just open the eyes and make the makeup cleaner. If you nailed everything on the first try, skip this. I blend everything with a small brush so I don't ruin the perfect shadow with my finger. And if you lifted the shadow too high, use leftover concealer on a brush like an eraser. Dry eyeshadow will stick to the slightly damp brush, just cleaning everything neatly. Hold the brush at 45-degree angle and remove excess only with the tip. Compare the two eyes, same technique, same shadow, but look how much cleaner and more professional the corrected one looks. This is the end of level 1, the simplest and easiest version. Let's move on to level 2, adding eyeliner for beginners. I take a pencil with this amazing sharp brush on the other side. Honestly, one of the best purchases ever, a brush plus waterproof eye pencil in one. I slightly pull the skin of the outer corner. I stamp the pencil as a dot where the upper and lower lid meet, and then I press the sharp brush and pull one strong stroke outward. This is our sketch, light barely visible. Now I add more pencil for intensity and repeat the motion, slowly melting the tail into the skin. I step back 1 millimeter from the end of the wing, place the brush again with the short bristles facing the lashes, and just connect it to the upper lash line, and add pencil to the inner corner if desired. You can stop here with a very subtle line. But I sharpened the pencil and want to intensify it into a rich burgundy, and I hope the camera shows the color theory here. Actually, my eyes instantly look greener. On the other side, I'll show you a different eyeliner option. So for those of you who don't have a skin fold in the outer corner of the eye, this type of hooded eyes is very common, by the way. And for you, this technique is different. So we draw the line along the lash line. You can do it in 3 layers, so it's easier to create a thin line. You can slightly close your eyes. A few swipes and you'll get a thin liner. But without a small sharp brush, it's impossible to do this quickly. But I know many people love using their nails. I am guilty of that too, but let's retrain ourselves to use a brush, okay? It's just much gentle on our eyes, and you can stop at this brush stage as well. So apply the pencil thickly along the lash line. Choose a colored one, don't use black. It makes the eye look smaller. And the same principle as a black dress making us look slimmer. So it absorbs light, yes. And this strip of marble lid, what I call the strip of light and hope, we still need it. Even if the line turns out messy, don't worry, we will blend it later. Guys, I'll show you another similar burgundy pencil in case you can't find the first one in your country. And I'll write them in the description as pencil 1 and pencil 2 in the links. So take a look at this Lancome one. Both are great. It's also waterproof and has a non-waxy texture in a plastic casing. It sets and doesn't transfer, just like the YSL one. The color is very close to the YSL one I showed earlier, so it honestly doesn't matter. Both formulas are amazing, just pick up one which you prefer the most. And I apply it in the wide strokes, covering about 30% of the mobile lid. I blend the edge with a sponge on the back of the pencil, or with a finger, or with a small brush, whatever is more convenient for you. And look at this color, a stunning, rich wine shade. It blends easily, especially if I had applied it first and then pressed dry eyeshadow on top. Doesn't matter. Press in the leftover dry eyeshadow, and that's it. Done. I'll add pencil to the inner and the outer corner as well, so the whole look stays in one makeup style. And while we were doing the eye makeup, the skin absorbed the serum, and let's do the light base so the eye stays as the main focus. So I take the same concealer and apply a little only on the red areas of the face. I'll call them the 24 pimples of my chocolate advent calendar, the price of sugar euphoria. And I add 1 tiny drop of serum. I take a big fluffy brush and blend everything into a thin lightweight layer. And at the end, with the pressing motions, I go over the problem areas again. Much better already. And I'm thinking to add maybe just 1 tiny dot of creamy blush on the highest point of the cheekbones for lifting effect, and blend it with the same face brush. This makes everything look more natural. And then I add lip balm I choose a blackberry shade to match the cool toned eye makeup. Stunning color. And as if my lips are slightly wind-chapped, I love shades like that. I applied 3 layers here and then blend with my fingertip. And here's only one lighter shade. So up to you, you can build it up easily. Now do a final check. The lower lip line, the cheekbone line, the jawline, the brow, and the eyeliner wing all should be parallel to each other. This is the natural anatomy of our face. Some people call it liner rhythm. And if you ever heard that term in makeup, now you know exactly what it means. You can impress someone with your makeup knowledge and conversation. So that's it. This is the final look we created. Bright, sparkly, beautiful. And you can find the natural makeup version in the previous video if you haven't watched it yet. Your curiosity is my biggest inspiration to keep sharing knowledge. So thank you for that and ask questions. Don't be shy. Now it's your turn to try this makeup and see you soon. Bye.